This is Ryan Elliott for ID Boxing. It's fight week. I managed to track down Darren Barker in the hotel here. Darren, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. I've got, I guess, fond memories of this hotel. I think it was summer 2021, and it was when all the bubbles were coming to an end. And I remember sort of saying to Frank, we're out to leave. Like, can we go for a Wonder Night? Like, go on. I remember walking out the hotel thinking, fuck. We're out. But yeah, love Newcastle. Great city.
Fight week, Cyrus Pattinson, sixth pro fight. Big step up against Chris Jenkins. Chris Jenkins said today, look, whatever happens, it's going to be an exciting fight. Is that the way you see it?
Early, I do. I think Chris is going to have a go. We see how lively he was against Florian Marku. You know, boxing really well. He's lively early, but I think he's coming to the end of his career. He'll feel the pace as the fight starts going on, I think. Brilliant matchmaking, it really is. I think it's brilliant for boxing up here. It's brilliant for Cyrus Pattinson, for his progress as a fighter. It's a great opportunity for Chris Jenkins to get his career back on track, though be it a very hard fight. But it's funny, I was talking to Cyrus about my progression to getting to the top of the bill, and I remember being in the changing room at York Hall, and a few of the older viewers here might remember Lee Meagher, who was British champion. I remember being on the undercard. I think it was Lee Meagher versus Dave Stewart, and I said to Lee, it must have been about my sixth fight or something like that, and I remember going to Lee, you nervous? Top of the bill, have all eyes on you. And he went, nah, not really. You progress to this level. Cyrus ain't had that. Do you know what I mean? It's a sick fight. A bang, he's there, top of the bill in front of his adoring fans. I mean, that comes with a lot of pressure. But he's a very level-headed man, Cyrus. He seems fully focused, switched on, and if anything, reveling in this scenario, this situation, and that's exciting. That's really exciting because I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. I kind of see the Northeast potentially being a real sort of hotbed, not just for UK boxing, but for world boxing, because with the talent that they've got, and we'll just single out Bertley, the Cuban the Cuba of Great Britain, if you like, along with some of the other clubs in London, West Ham, Repton, but they're producing so many amazing fighters. They're churning them out, and with that aside, the talent aside, with the fan base that Liverpool has, you just got to go to a Lewis Ritson fight. When he was back in, when things were really going well for Lewis, the crowd were booming and it was just so loud, and they come out in their thousands. So if you've got the fighters, you've got the fan base, and you've got that big stadium I can see in the distance there's some big fights to be made here. But we're a bit off there, but it's exciting.
Yeah, we're getting back to that. I think for a while it probably felt like if it wasn't Lewis Ritson headlining, the big pro shows weren't going to come. But you mentioned it there, Bertley producing some unbelievable talents right now. There's 4 of them on this card alone. I wanted to talk about Pat McCormack, obviously with Matchroom now, one of our best ever amateurs. You know your onions. How excited should we be?
I mean, extremely. You could argue that he's the best ever amateur we've ever had. When you look through who he's fought in the amateurs, who he's beaten, basically the creme de la creme, the full pool of fighters that were out there and beating them, an exceptional talent. And though you see him a lot of the time being jovial and messing around and joking, he's switched on, he's really switched on. He understands what's required to go to the top. Talent isn't enough, he understands that. He's with a fantastic coach, Ben Davis. I've spent a bit of time with him the last few shows, and he's a proper boxing man. Ben, he's a young man, but he knows his stuff. He really does. And yeah, I mean, you talk about the potential big shows at St James's Park. He's potentially one of the guys, if not the guy, who will be headlining there one day.
Bit of a different press conference format today. Sol Dacres and Rob Ismay, it got a bit spicy up there. There was bottles of water thrown around. The crowd were getting involved. What was going through your head sitting up there watching them two?
I look forward to the first bell. You know, that you can't see any other than Rob Ismay going hell for leather. I think he's too smart. I hope he's smart enough to understand he can't stand off Dacres, who will box his ears off. He made a point, and he pulled me on it today at the presser, saying that he's not a big heavyweight. So I don't think there can be any kidology behind his words. I think he genuinely needs to make life uncomfortable for Dacres, because if he doesn't, he will, like I say, get his ears boxed off. He really will. Dacres is a very, very good fighter, and you know, I was impressed when he beat Sokolowski, who, you know, bashed Adelaide. I think he's a really good fighter. There's always stuff you'd like to see a fighter do. You know, I'd like him to see him go through the gears a bit more and really put his foot on the gas. But, you know, on reflection, if you can make a fight easy, then why not? You know, if you don't have to make it hard, then why not? But you got people paying good money for tickets, so they want to see excitement. But I think Rob Ismay approaches this the way we're all kind of expecting, and tries to get on Dacres' chest. Yeah, so looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the first bell. You know, that excitement just before the bell rings.
And your good mate John Ryder, the press tour's going on at the minute. I think he's in San Diego right now. He's got that fight with Canelo Alvarez. Waited years for this monster fight that he's wanted, but you must have a great sense of personal pride seeing him right up there now.
I'm thrilled for him. I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Look, it gets no tougher than this, really, when you think about it. But it's what comes with this fight, the financial rewards and the opportunity to say that you've been in there with one of the world best, a future Hall of Famer. You know, I hate referencing myself, but when I fought Martinez, it was a big box ticked, and you know, he's got the opportunity to do that, and I'm glad he's going to get paid really well. It's a great experience. And look, I'll tell a story about John, and I've got so much respect for this man. I remember when I fought Martinez, to go back to that fight, we flew out to Niagara Falls, just north of New York. The plan was then we'd do our camp there, 10 days there, go into New York, down to spend a couple of days in New York, then over to Atlantic City. We fly to Niagara, me, Tony, Mark Seltzer, my brother, and we'd had Adam Troupis was the southpaw that we'd lined up with. But anyway, something happened with him, he fell ill, and we had no southpaw sparring. We tried our best to get sparring out there, couldn't get any. It was a nightmare. So we rang John up. We was like, John, you know, can you come to Niagara Falls? We need some southpaw sparring. Bang, he went straight home, packed his bag, straight to the airport, on the plane, to Calgary, to Niagara. Didn't even go to the hotel, straight to the gym where we're waiting for him, and he sparred 10 rounds with me. You got to remember, I was firing on all cylinders, and I just thought afterwards, what a man, you know. You know, to do that for me meant an awful lot. So I've got so much respect for John. I've done an awful lot of sparring with him. He's a good fighter. He's up against it. He's not an idiot. He understands that, but he's in the sort of you could say at this late stage of his career, John's in his prime. He has a knack, John, of dragging fighters into his fight. He'll get it up close. He'll tie Canelo, or try and tie Canelo up. He'll slip in that uppercut. So yeah, bottom line, I'm buzzing for John. Absolutely buzzing for him, and I'll be out there as a fan.
With that in mind, we've seen Canelo Ryder announced, but Beterbiev-Smith as well. It looks like Callum Smith's going to be next in line for Artur Beterbiev. What's Callum Smith's best chance of winning that fight?
What is his best chance? Well, first and foremost, I mean, he could be getting Beterbiev at the right time. And the fact that Callum's a very good fighter. But if he's not past his prime, well, look, he obviously is. Beterbiev is obviously past his prime, but he's still a fucking very good fighter. One of the best out there. Arguably the biggest puncher in world boxing, along with Inoue and a load of others. But I mean, Father Time waits for no man, and it could be that one fight too far for Beterbiev. I think he's got to keep it long to start with Callum. He's got to keep it, he can't be greedy. He's got to pick his moments. Plenty of feints, try and get Beterbiev to load up, miss and fire back. We see Callum Johnson drop in Beterbiev, and we've seen him hurt in the past before, and I think that extra bit of weight for Callum coming up from super middle to light heavyweight makes him very dangerous. So yeah, he's got to pick his moments, be smart, and hope he can walk Beterbiev onto a big right hand and follow up with a left hook. Look forward to it, and what a way to bow out for Callum Smith if he was to beat Beterbiev. I mean, I'm not saying he would retire, but in my eyes, I'll be thinking, that'd do me. Lovely.
Had some big news come out today. Just after the press conference, that DAZN were now going to be launching their own channel on Sky Sports as of next week. A lot of the criticism levelled at DAZN since it launched is the fact you can't just go on the television and watch it. Big box ticked.
Yeah. I see Buatsi getting a bit of stick. It's all fun and games. Look, this whole hate Matchroom, hate DAZN, hate Queensbury, hate Boxer or love them, or it's all pantomime at the end of the day. Look, we're all celebrating and working for and with the greatest sport in the world, in my opinion. Look, it's not perfect by no means. We're striving to make this sport better all the time. There's terrible decisions on all platforms. There's fights that don't get made, but boxing will and has always stood the test of time, and it's opportunities like this for fighters to showcase their skills on a platform that can be assessed everywhere. It's accessible everywhere. So, good move, I think, for DAZN, certainly. I don't know the logistics of it, but from where I'm sat, I'm seeing a lot of praise, and I just think it's great for boxing because my loyalties aside and my obligations aside, I'm a boxing fan. The first and foremost. It's been my life since I was a little kid. My life would not be as good if boxing wasn't in it. So I'm just glad to be a part of something special. And I think, I truly believe DAZN will go from strength to strength. It was always going to take a bit of time. It was never going to happen overnight. There's always going to be a little bit, this and that. But I think, we're getting there.
From an ex-fighter's perspective, we've seen Buatsi move over, we've seen Okoli move over. It's a bit strange because, according to a lot of people, boxing's in a lull, but I suppose as a fighter, has there ever really been a better time to be active and in the market with so many competitors? We're seeing the money flying around now.
Well, you've just said the word there. I mean, money is flying around. And if we can, iron out all the politics that sometimes, a lot of the time, come along with boxing, and what I mean by that is opportunities fall into the right people. What a time to be a boxer. I'd have loved to have been around this day and age having these sort of options available to me with the main goal of earning lots of money and winning numerous titles. It is a good time for boxing, and good luck to all the lads and ladies out there.
Just a couple more fights before I let you go. The press tour started for Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Brilliant fight, probably a fight boxing needed as well. Yeah. Style-wise, when you think about the fight, who wins and how, in your opinion?
Buzzing the fight's happening. It was up there with one of the fights we all wanted to see, if not the fight. I fancy Tank. I think it will be not cagey. I think there won't be much in it early on. I think they're both going to have moments. It's going to be fiery. It's going to be. I mean, the hand speed on both of them is ridiculous, razor sharp, and I think there's going to be very good action early on. But it'll be close, and then I just see Tank taking over. I think he's got that grit, that spite, that nastiness. I think. Well, look, another thing, we've never really seen Tank hurt. I don't think, thinking of the top of my head. I don't think, not that I can think of. We've seen obviously Garcia drops against Campbell, but I just feel. It's a brilliant fight. It really is. So I'm just thinking there. I do think it's going to really live up to the expectations. It can't be a boring fight. And I just think Tank, it's got that bit of nastiness in him, which could be the difference.
Fury Usyk got a bit wild earlier in the week. Negotiations became very public. At this point, are you just kind of tired of seeing everything out in the open?
Just want to see the fight signed, sealed, and delivered. Again, talking as a fan, it's a fight I want to see. Who is the best heavyweight out there right now? Who is number one? There's no argument after this. I guess you'd have to say Fury right now, but this, whether you're Usyk, whether you're Fury, this puts it to bed. So all of that bollocks in the build-up, I just hope we finally get there.
I was speaking to Graham Rutherford about the fight before, and he was kind of giving me his prediction for the fight, and he said that Usyk will make it a lot closer than maybe people are expecting. Fury likes to work off the jab, and Usyk with his movement might make that a bit difficult. What problems do you see Alexander Usyk giving Tyson Fury?
Look, the difficult thing for me is for Usyk, if he gets close, he's fucked, because Tyson will lean on him, he'll grab him, and if he stands off Tyson, he's obviously lacking in the reach department. So I think speed is absolutely crucial here for Usyk, and he does have that over Tyson Fury, in my opinion, with foot and hand. So I don't think it's rocket science, really. I think the key to success is being razor sharp, picking your moments, plenty of feints, try and draw the lead out of Tyson, which I don't think it's going to be that easy, because that's his game. So I just think, bang, like in quick and then out, in quick and out. Do your Lomachenko movement, trained alongside each other for a long time. So when you're in close, bang, skip round, hit the body, move. You can't stay in front of Tyson too long. He will grab hold of you. He'll smother you, get his weight into the contest. And if you stand off him for too long, you get picked off. So speed of foot, speed of hand is crucial. Skipping around him, and I tell you what, he'll have to be in tip-top condition to beat Fury, because the game plan in beating him would require a lot of work. I think he can do it. I do believe he can do it. I do favour Fury in the fight, but I do think he's got a hell of a chance.
Darren, appreciate your time. I'll let you enjoy your evening. I'm sure I'll catch you very soon.
Cheers, mate.